Today, there was a patch. A much awaited patch. Much anticipated. One a lot of us were waiting for. This patch contained job balancing. Something that's been a hot topic as of late for several reasons. We all know about that. We're not going to go over that right now. But this is the first patch, with one allegedly coming in 6.3 regarding more complex changes. Hopefully we'll find out in the live letter. Is it next week or later this week? Can't remember. Either way. 11th. Okay, next week then. Several jobs have been adjusted. I think it's time we read over those jobs and see what happened. So, first job, warrior. No, I'm not a big warrior player, but I did know that warrior needed some help. Fell Cleave and Upheaval have both been buffed. I'm happy for warriors. This seems... I don't know if this is enough, but a buff is a buff. What is this? Okay. Very cool. Yeah. So, it's not bad. I think overall, considering how much you press Fell Cleave, and given the 3 per minute auto decrit, you know, pretty big. And Upheaval is every 30 seconds. Of course, when it comes to talking about buffs and stuff, you know, we tend to put it into, like, you know, a potency per 2-minute cycle. Just because, you know, it's how burst is these days. Anyway, moving on. Reaper. Reaper got some love. Reaper definitely got some love. I will say that, as with all things high potency, my concern is that this exacerbates the crit variance issue. I'm not a fan. I don't want things to continue in this direction. Because the more you do this, the worse that problem gets. The digger... The deeper the hole they dig. I know you said digger the hole they deep. I don't know, man. It's early, man. It's early, dude. The deeper the hole that they dig for themselves. So I hope things don't continue in this direction. Like, a buff is a buff, and that's good. I'm glad Reaper's gotten some love. It needed it, despite being a melee. But having more 1000 potency abilities just isn't healthy for the game. It isn't. Like, we've been over this. The amount of variance just rockets upwards. Crit variance makes it even worse. Like, it's just... Despite being a melee, because melee are too strong. We'll get to that. What about the ninja ability? Yeah, it's even worse. So the fact that they're adding potency to, like, the most powerful abilities concerns me a bit. But that's a trend across most of these buffs. So, you know. Again, burst meta prevails. Unfortunately. Multi-hit actions, so it's down but 250 times 4. You mean like dream within a dream? Yeah, I mean maybe. I think it's not a bad idea. I think dream within a dream is a cool skill.
Oh, my shoulder.
But anyway, Reaper got some love. Feels good, man. Bard! I fucking wheezed. I wheezed, dude. I wheezed. Now, bear in mind, chat, this is every 15 seconds, so it's not that bad. Alright? It's not too bad. Like, that is 240 every 2 minutes. Like, it's like, think of it that way. It's funny. It is funny. But a good bard who doesn't drift anything, like that's pretty valuable. I don't particularly want bard to be buffed too much though. Now, I've always said that bard is too much work for very little gain, and I stand by it. Oh, are there ads? Okay, I'll hold off a sec. Fucking ads, dude. I hate it. It's over now? Okay, cool. It's over? Alright, good. So yeah, like, you know, I don't want Bard to be buffed too much. Bard is very powerful in the right group. No, honestly, for things like this, please do tell me when there's ads, so I can, like, stall for a sec. What did I say about Bard? I just said that, like, the Bard buff is okay. A good Bard will make good use of that. However, I don't want Bard to be buffed too hard. As much as I do think it's too much work for too little gain, Bard's in a good position right now. Black Mage. Now, people have been pretty divisive about this one. Some people didn't want Black Mage to be buffed. Well, I think it did need it. I think people underestimate just how, like, powerful Black Mage should be for how complex it is. I'm of the opinion that Black Mage should go far as a job with a very high skill ceiling, still. So, I'm of the opinion that this is fine, and I've heard that it's decent. I've heard that it's decent. I know fucking nothing about Black Mage. This is funny to me, though. Like, they were so desperate not to change rotations that, like, we're now going, like, 1%. This is fucking hilarious to me. Like, you know, like, we're not even sticking with round numbers anymore. It's just 21%. Okay. I don't know either. I've not checked. Ask Exu. I'm sure he will talk about this at some point on his streams. 1.67. 0.8 on a Nokian alone. Okay, you talked about it yesterday. Okay. Okay. Add something to their passive. Yeah, it's interesting. It is interesting, but I've heard this is good, so we'll see what the numbers do. As of all these things, chat, we will see how it pans out. Summoner. I'm glad this is not as big of a buff as I thought it was when I first saw it. I don't want Summoner to be too powerful for how easy it is to play. I should hide under my desk when I say that. But for real, like, Summoner shouldn't be buffed too much. It really shouldn't. Yes, these are all abilities you use once a minute. Well, apart from Festa. Like, yeah, this is quite big. And these are all your eggies, which you all press once a minute. I do not want Summoner to be buffed too much. Please do not go further than this. And also, again, adding it to, like, at least they didn't, like, buff Akmorn or something. Like, Jesus Christ. But these are still pretty high potency abilities. So, you know, I'm happy for summoners. I like playing summoner myself. But I don't think it should be too strong. Red Mage. Red Mages. Your melee combo. This is a buff for our meme. We're winning here. We are winning here. I can't wait to start that, man. I'm excited. I even hinted at chat. They still don't know what it is yet. But, yeah, this is a fairly hefty buff considering how much you melee combo now. This is a lot. What was the percent on this, chat? I didn't look. Roughly 2%. 2%, 1.5%, 2%. Okay. I see. 3 combos per 2 minutes. It's shit. So 60. 110. 140. It's 420 per 2 minutes. It's not that bad. I haven't updated the Machinist command, chat. I forgot it exists. It's not too bad. Sage! Actually, before I move on, like, again, I said Red Mage needed a buff. Again, I don't want it to be too much, though. Considering Red Mage support. It has a lot of it. I think having a res is really throwing a spanner in some works. I think they need to just start getting rid of DPS reses. I think this needs to stop. Yeah, I've touched on that, Deso. You know, like, all of this is kind of under a premise that it's digging the hole deeper in terms of variants. Ruby, thank you for 20 months. Welcome back. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. And Sage! I know fuck all about Sage, but that seems 90 potency and 1 ability seems large. The Reaper buffs are decent, yeah. So I'll not speak too much on Sage. I'll leave that to the experts. Job guide. So we can look at some reasoning. We can look at some reasoning. I will get to it, chat. I will get to it. Calm yourselves. After reassessing the balance between jobs within each role, we have made adjustments to the potency of actions for several jobs. As many players are challenging high-end duties at present, we have tried to ensure that these adjustments will not adversely affect their action rotations. I think this is fine. We knew this was gonna be a number patch only. 6.3 might shake it up. Ready for ultimate copium. This is fine. I think this is okay, and I think that's their line of thinking as well, so I'm kind of hopeful that more changes will be made. Just want to get your thoughts so I can sleep. Unfortunate. Moreover, in light of previous adjustments to reduce stress on tank and melee DPS jobs, we've raised the damage floor on for ranged DPS to compensate for their diminished impact. However, when reviewing the balance of Dancer in relation to other Fizz range jobs, we decided it would not require such adjustments. Finally, for the first time this expansion, Dancer takes an L. If I see a single Dancer fucking complaining, I swear to fucking God, I will lose my shit. When the fact that Dancer wasn't mentioned. If dancers are complaining, they can eat fucking shit. You have been stroked, jerked off, aftercared, and everything. Shut the fuck up. .0 was pretty bad, but it got buffed. And then melee became too strong. And then the crit changes happened and they got stronger. Warrior. Although we increased the potency of warrior actions in patch 6.21, their DPS did not reach the levels we were expecting. Now this is interesting to me. Like, what do you mean, like, we were expecting? You're the balance devs here, no? Like, surely you ran this through simulation and, like, your active testing and stuff. I'm, things like this confuse me. It could be a translation thing, but, like, that just seems weird to me. Like, what does that mean? We have increased the potency of their actions again to further improve burst damage. You'll notice there's a trend throughout this where they talk about burst damage a lot. They really are doubling down on it, and that concerns me, chat. It really, really does. I'm not okay with how much they keep doubling down on burst. It's that they are still very blind to this issue, it seems, and it is worrying me. We've already gone over the problems of 2-minute burst in grave detail for weeks, months at this point. I don't like that they're doing this. I really don't. And it's a trend throughout this entire patch. Just disable attacks until you're in 2-minute burst. True. Reaper, after reviewing the balance between melee DPS jobs, we decided to increase the DPS of Reaper action, so I improved the strength of the basic combo patch 6.2 and 2.28. We focused on improvements to burst damage jobs, striking a better balance between burst and non-burst DPS. Yeah, maybe if it crits. Can you do a TLDR why you think 2-minute focused rotations are bad? Sorry, new viewer. Here's why 2-minute burst is bad, in short words. Most of your damage is in a 2-minute window. Your high potency abilities, for the most part, are in a 2-minute window. If they're not in it, they are also in it, as well as not being in it. This creates a huge amount of variance in gameplay, especially when crit is involved. If you don't crit your burst, if people's burst is misaligned, you're fucked. Your damage is gone. This makes game balance difficult. This makes fight balance difficult. And it's creating a situation where disparities between DPS are way too high. There's too much RNG. That's a very simplified TLDR of the problem. Other side effects are jobs that aren't 2-minute burst, like Paladin, are now due a rework to fit that meta. I have not read the Machinist changes. Black Mage is an exception as well, but also Black Mage does suffer from high potency abilities. Potencies are just too high right now, and they're doubling down and making those bigger. There were summoner changes, yes, you got a buff. Bard, we wanted to raise the damage floor of ranged DPS classes while also maintaining balance within the physical ranged DPS role. Because we wish to avoid adjustments that would significantly affect DPS rotations, we have only raised the potency of Imperial Arrow. So there's no mention of this job has strong synergy already. It's just we didn't want to affect rotation. Like, bro, that's not the only problem. Bard is too strong buff-wise right now as well. Black Mage. We made several adjustments to increase the damage floor of magical range DPS jobs to avoid significant changes to Black Mage DPS rotations. We have focused on improving a select few actions as well as the trait Enhanced Enochian 3. These adjustments should help to improve both burst and non-burst DPS. So, like, there'll be a running trend here. They're trying to strike a balance. But they're like making it worse, man. I don't know. They're making it worse. But anyway, like, I'll touch on that again later. We've made several adjustments to increase the damage floor of magical range DPS jobs. The adjustments made to summoners should help improve both burst and non-burst DPS. So burst as infestors, non-burst as in eggies. Red Mage, you made several adjustments to increase the damage floor of magical range DPS and ensure balance is maintained at lower levels. We added increased action bonus to level 84 trait, improving overall burst damage at higher levels of play. At least they acknowledge that, you know, there's low and high levels of play. I like that. It's good. Sage, you made several adjustments to address DPS balance within the healer role to ensure all sages felt the benefits of these changes regardless of playstyle. What does this mean? Like, what does that mean? What's this speaking in support of, Mr. Yoshi P? We chose to increase the potency of Phlegma. Because its unique recast timer does not hinder the use of other actions, we the change will result in improved DPS. Like, we believe this change. Like, did you not test it? Like, their wording is... I hope these are, like, weird translations. Yeah, several. One. My god. Alright, chat. I've made the joke like 3 times. I've gone over it. I've skipped it like 3 times. I'm gonna stop making the joke. We're gonna talk about it. It's the job level. Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Yeah. I see. Fair. So, right off the bat, chat, Machinist received one of the highest % buffs out of every job in this patch. At somewhere between 2.5% and 3%. This equates to somewhere, I don't know the exact number, but it's like somewhere around like 500 potency per 2 minutes. Something like that. I can't remember. It's 640, okay. 640. That's quite a lot. This is big. This is just so funny, dude. This is just. Oh, everyone was memeing like, haha, plus 10 potency, Lamau. Like, nah, it's plus 20 actually. Haha. And of course, these get the same because they are desperate for them all to be the same button all the time. If you remember, we got this. This happened the first time in 6.11 for DSR. So I wrote some quick notes. So, here's the positives, chat. Here's the positives. We'll start with the positives. So, this is quite a big buff. We will see what the numbers do. And it does close the gap on Dancer. But! Only
20.
Bro, why?
20.
What is wrong with you?
20.
My God.
20.
Yes.
20.
It's crazy.
20.
Except it's not
20.
20. It's
20.
like 60.
20.
Chad, do you think it's 20?
20.
I'm just gonna turn that down for a bit.
20.
2.6% increase from 0 still 0. I don't know, man. Shut up. Anyway, but that gap close on Dancer is only really at a median level. At a high level, melee is still very, very strong. Dancer will still beat the shit out of Machinist at a high level. So let that be known. At a higher level, you don't even bring Machinist. I mean, it depends what your definition of high level is, really. But as much as they seem to be talking about, you know, play styles and level of play and whatnot, like, this matters. So, this is only at, like, you know, a fairly medium level. Machinist will probably still be at the bottom, roughly. World first Criterion Savage of Machinist. That means literally nothing. Like, that doesn't mean anything. It's a fucking dungeon. So, is this buff enough? No. No, it's not. This buff is not enough. We have won a battle, chat. We have not won a war. I hope they are seriously considering a soft rework and rebalancing of this job and maybe even Fizz range in 6.3. I don't know. The latter probably not. But we've won this the battle of the job is getting buffed more significantly than it has been before. Machinist, this expansion has been getting the treatment that Bard did in Shadowbringers. It was just like 10 potency here and there, you know? It wasn't great. The job is not fixed. But we knew that wouldn't happen this patch. So maybe 6.3. We are once again being edged by Yoshi P. Tugged on a fucking leash. Dragged around Limsa kicking and screaming naked. 6.3 is the last bastion. Yes. It really is. Like, there's no more coping after 6.3. So this buff is decent. It is. But it's not enough. It's still not enough. Oh, you're just never fucking happy, man. You just want it to be the best Fizz range. Like, shut the fuck up. It's a pure DPS. It still shouldn't be this low. But the potency change is better. However, this brings me on to problems with the job. I'm going to show you something and I want you to tell me the problem. Delivers an attack with a potency of 600. This is 300 times 2. Now, you've heard me complain before about how Bioblaster is barely a gain on 2 targets. It started at 50 in 6.0. It then went down to 20 by 6.2. And now it's fucking 0 on 2 targets. It's not a gain on 2 whatsoever. They've completely forgotten the Machinist AoE exists. It's a gain on 3. Who fucking cares? This was meant to be a gain on 2, and now it's not a fucking gain at all. You literally never press it. In any dual target fight, like T. It was already useless if you had to reassemble. Now it's just fucking useless as well. Goodbye. Off the hotbar. Half job Harry's in the Square Enix office. This can go while I'm at it. Fuck you. Get this shit out of my video game. Wildfire. Still no crit, direct hit, auto decrit. Still a stupid fucking ability that doesn't synergize with everybody in the group. Why? Why wasn't this changed? They were quick to fucking remove chitin and change fucking your various 73 Midares to fucking auto crit. Why doesn't Wildfire get the same treatment? Why is a direct crit tool under buff still more powerful than Wildfire? Why isn't this shit being changed? Like, I love how, like, they don't even, like, put in the tooltip that it can't crit. Like, they don't want you to know, man. They don't want you to know. They don't want you to find out. So, this buff is good. But it's not enough. And it's still a half job. Maybe they don't know it can't crit. At this point, that's not entirely unbelievable. Like, what the fuck is that, man? I love this job. This job is my baby. I've done lots of cool things with this job. But Square Enix are fucking dumb. They are still fucking up with this job to this day. Is it the only job with problems? No. But how long must we complain and point out obvious issues before they start listening? You think Wildfire should get some buffs similar to Reaper's Plentiful Harvest? It either needs to be like an auto crit at this point. I can't believe I'm saying that, but here we are. Or it needs to go back to like Stormblood, where it did a % of your damage input. It's disappointing that such glaring issues are still being ignored. And before somebody says, yeah, but they said 6.3 will have other changes. Auto-critting would just be a fucking potency change. Why is it being ignored? Why? Yeah, I said that like minutes ago. Like they had no problem changing Samurai. That was fine, apparently. So why not this? So the job just still doesn't make sense. Like it's just weird. And as far as we know, they've not shadow fixed not applying to fucking Dragon Sight. No, it's not here either. Why is my Steam like showing people twice? It's really annoying. Stop. So yeah, I don't know, man. Like it's. Wait, what? Why is it saying these are all updated? Oh, okay. And we wanted to raise the damage floor of ranged DPS classes while also maintaining balance within the physical ranged DPS role. You failed. You failed. Do better. The adjustments made to Machinist should help improve their burst and non-burst DPS. You've somewhat succeeded. This is true. This is not true. What kind of fucking idea of balance do you have? Where a job that's about playing fucking whack-a-mole in an arcade gets to sit there while Big Dick Melee lose nothing and give it fuckloads of damage. Not good enough. Up to 75%. Wow, that's great. Fucking face roll the keyboard on Machinist, you're doing 75%. It pushes the median up. That's it. Any well-coordinated group just doesn't care about Machinist. I don't even care about Machinist being meta or not. I don't even care about that shit. I just want them to understand that they have other pure DPS in this game. Are like the top of their role or extremely functional in their role. Even at like a median level. Yet this pure DPS has none of their benefits. It's so weird. It doesn't make sense. It's not good enough. 6.3 is our last hope for them to understand that if they're going to put us in this position, there needs to be a reason for us to exist. This isn't going to make more people play Machinist. This isn't going to change any of that. We're just more accessible, or like we are better at a slightly lower level now. A slightly higher level. Sorry. But how can you have a person, like, a pure DPS? I cannot speak today. How can you have a pure DPS do so little and have no utility, no personals? Like how long can this go on? Hot take, Machinist is too easy to play for it to deserve to be as good as the other pure DPS. It's easier than them, but it's not easy. Now, chat's gonna copium me on that. But believe me, the path to people learning to play Machinist is a lot more rocky than you think. Machinist relies a lot on a lot of consistency, and a lot of people don't have that. Drifting in on this job has a very adverse effect on how it plays. So I don't think it's that easy. Reaper is worse. Yeah, Reaper's very, very strict. It is subjective, yes. Machinist is obviously easier than Black Mage and Samurai. Like, of course. But, like, I don't know, man. It's not an excuse. It's not easy enough to be an excuse. Considering everything else it's still missing. But again, we knew that stuff wasn't coming this patch. We only had numbers to look forward to, and numbers is what we got, and the numbers are okay. They're not great, it's not good enough, but it's okay. It's the most significant buff Machinist has gotten since, like, for all of Endwalker, so nearly a year at this point. I don't know why it's taken so long to get here. I don't know what they're using to balance this shit, man. It's weird. And I don't know why Wildfire isn't critting yet. Like really. Ugh. I'm hoping the logic is that with Ultimate obviously being 2 weeks after 6.3 Copium, they'll make more significant changes to the job design itself, and then that will give people 2 weeks to learn it. And I'm okay with that. But this is, I don't know. When 6.3 is coming, it should be mid to late December. Sometime. So anyway, that's where I'm at on Machinist right now. No, I'm not dropping it. While I was keeping quiet about my thoughts on it, you know, I was seeing people say, like, man, this will make people quit Machinist and shit. Like, no, like, it's okay. It's the largest buff out of any job in this patch. It closes the gap on Dancer at more percentiles, more levels of play, up until, like, above average. But at any remotely high level, we still get shit on, thanks to Square Enix's bullshit with Melee. And I still don't understand. How they've continuously, like, buffed the drill and shit, and they've just completely forgotten about, like, Bioblaster. It's really stupid. Like, it seems like such a small issue. But, like, if you're gonna have something that was clearly originally intended to be a gain on 2 targets, like, why would you not change that to reflect it? Why would you not buff that in return? Why would they not buff AoE? Like, who fucking cares? It's AoE. Why would you not buff it? I don't know, dude. But considering Machinist Burst was, like, falling behind both Dancer and Bard, like, personal damage-wise, this might fix that problem. I don't know. We'll have to see the numbers. But that is my thoughts overall. PvP actions, look, I don't fucking care. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't care. PvP sucks. More dyeable clothes, very cool. This is some Heavenswood shit, right? And congrats, NA, on your new servers that will probably just be really, really quiet because all the hype around the game kind of died down. Good future-proofing, but I wouldn't expect those to take off anytime soon. Let me look at this. Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Yeah, no, I'm just looking at it. I see, like I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like that Machinist is just the PF job. Like, it shouldn't be like that way. It's nice. Except people also ban it from PF because they're fucking dumb. And their average pass is grey anyway. And they think like having a dancer somehow changes that. I know you're just bad. Shut the fuck up. But, you know, it is pretty sad that despite receiving a significant buff somewhat, it's still not enough. Like, it's really just testament to how far behind Machinist is. Still. And the same as being the prog job? Not really. PF and prog are very different things. Why is it RDPS though, not ADPS? No singular metric on their own tell a full story. I mean, I think this is why they need to get rid of, like, reses on DPS. Like, stop with this logic. It doesn't need to be that way. It gives them a lot more room to balance jobs around, like, actual difficulty and optimization rather than just what it can do outside of that. Love losing job identity. Red Mage's res is not job identity. That's not identity. Hey, Kiri. Red Mage identity is like... It's jumping between melee and ranged. Is taking the res from summoner job identity as well? No. Fuck it. Just get rid of... Make people play better. I mean, Kaiten was job identity because of the animation, I guess. Depends on your definition. I mean, okay, if they're not gonna remove it, make it so you can't fucking dual cast it. Because that is stupid. Don't let people dual cast a res. Raise limits in Savage? No, because that takes away any attempt to, like, recover a bad situation. If you can pull off a sick recovery on healers and still clear the fight, why would you want to limit that? You wouldn't. Many groups already war. Okay, but why should we cater to those players? I'm not gonna. I don't agree with this sentiment of, like, catering to bad players. Give Machinist a shoot self button. We have one. It's called the Dancer Jobstone. Hate losing actions for balance purposes because it makes the game more boring. I don't know, man. I don't think rezzing is particularly fun, but clearly we differ on this, so whatever. But anyway, like that's all I gotta say, really. I don't know, man. Like the buffs overall for jobs pretty good. But to summarize, I think we're exacerbating this problem that Square Enix are doubling down on. Double downing, bro. I can't English today, dude. Doubling down on. This just makes the 2-minute meta worse. It makes the variance worse. Next raid tier at this rate is gonna be a balance fucking nightmare. It's gonna be terrible because the variance is gonna be even bigger. Especially considering they will never nerf jobs. They only buff jobs. So it only gets worse. I really hope this only is an Endwalker problem and not beyond that. You know, I'm pleasantly surprised by Machinist. But it's not enough, and the job needs more work. We have won the battle. We have not won the war. That's it. Big summoner buff when? No. Why does summoner need a big buff? You have no buttons. And you press the same buttons for 15 seconds once a minute. Summoner does not need buffing more. Absolutely not. Don't understand balancing. It's alright. I'm old, so you don't have to. Do you have Festa at 70? Yes. Yes, Summoner just got stronger in 70 ultimates. A lot of jobs did, really. This is definitely making those even easier. Prime time to do POTD. Yeah, true. Well, that's all I gotta say. I think I've got it out my system. Like I don't have as much to say on Machinist as people probably thought, but they're still missing major hitting points that they're just ignoring still for no fucking reason. So my take on Bard, I think Bard should not be buffed almost any more than it has been. Bard is very strong already. There you have it, champ. 6.28. Numbers we somewhat expected. Maybe. Machinist needs more. Major changes are coming in 6.3. Well, this is the thing. Like, we have no idea what those are. We'll find out in about 10 days. Hopefully. At least have an idea. Shit, look at this. How much percent would you say Machinist needs? I don't know about percent. I just think the job needs fixing. No. If they decide where Machinist is going direction-wise, I don't keep it as a pure DPS. I think it will be okay. But Wildfire desperately needs to crit. Like, it really does. Like, desperately. Why have a job that doesn't synergize with all the buffs that you are so dead set on making people use? It doesn't make sense. Square Enix aren't backing down from the 2-minute meta, so why is this happening?